What can you tell these guys about Rod Temperton? Who he was and what his importance is?
Where do I start with this guy?
This is my film pitch for The Invisible Composer, a Rod Temperton biopic. I hope this presentation finds its way to those in the know, but should also be an entertaining watch for energy drink guzzling netizens in their sweatpants. The Invisible Composer is a biopic on songwriter Rod Temperton, a former fish gutter from Northern England, and his meteoric rise from playing funk with the soul band Heatwave to teaming up with legendary producer Quincy Jones and laying the foundation for Michael Jackson and George Benson's solo careers, among many others.
I took a chance with a composer that I had loved his work for a long time. It was just incredible talent.
All the songs on Heatwave's first LP were written and composed by our organ player. Banging me right on, right on the man. Always and forever.
It's the great untold story of pop that almost everyone's heard by now. The maestro of black music, who turns out to have been a pallid fish gutter from Cleethorpes.
Quincy always talks about, thinking that I must have been black. I must have been, before he met me.
Because he was just this little skinny British guy. And Quincy plucked him out, and brought him into the fold and said, "You're going to write for Michael."
Whereas most biopics focus on a global superstar whose story is already known, the huge real-life names in this film are a support cast to the fish-out-of-water, slightly comedic title character, a nerdy-looking, socially awkward white songwriter in the same room as soul legends, and writing some of their biggest hits.
Grimsby fish filleter reels in fortune for Wacko Jacko.
Despite being considered one of the world's greatest ever songwriters, the multi-instrumentalist was known in the music industry as the Invisible Man, because he preferred to keep a low profile while penning the countless classics that would define a generation.
You're acting boogie down. If you can't hang with the feeling, then there ain't no room for you in this part of town. 'Cause we're the party people night and day.
After leaving his job at a Northern English fish market, the unlikely soul genius went on to write hits such as Always and Forever and Boogie Nights, before forming a fruitful relationship with Quincy Jones, where he first penned Rock With You, Burn This Disco Out and Off the Wall, the title track for Michael Jackson's solo debut album, in a single night.
It was all kind of written in those hours, between 3 in the morning and 9, because I was back in the studio with Heatwave at 10.
We recorded Burn This Disco Out. Off the Wall.
So tonight, gotta leave the 9 to 5 up on the shelf and just enjoy yourself.
And Rock With You.
The whole thing took 2 weekends, and it was amazing. And by the time it was over, Quincy and I had become such close buddies that, he said, I want you to work on everything I'm doing. So I said, oh, okay.
Prior to writing the iconic title track for Jackson's next album, Thriller, the world's biggest album of all time with 3 Temperton tracks in total, he penned Give Me the Night and Love Times Love to help catapult George Benson's soul career.
We got love, times love. It's always there for us to share. 'Cause there's music in the air and lots of loving everywhere. So give me the night.
Temperton also wrote Stomp for the Brothers Johnson, RAZZAMATTAZZ for Quincy Jones, Yamo Be There for James Ingram and Michael McDonald, and a US #1, Baby Come To Me for PATTI and James Ingram.
Next year, we start with Michael Jackson on February the 1st for the follow-up to Off the Wall.
I think it was Quincy that said we need something, a title with a little more of an edge, you know.
Under the moonlight, it feels like that almost stops your heart. You try to scream.
So 200 titles later, Thriller. Okay, now we're on to something. And then that opened up a whole new world.
And all of this happened between 1977 and 1983.
Wow. Rod Temperton did good.
The film begins with Temperton famously writing Vincent Price's rap for Thriller in the back of a taxi minutes before the actor recorded it in 2 takes.
Did Rod write the spoken word section too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to know how he wrote it? He wrote it in the taxi on the way from the airport to the studio. That's how he came up with the spoken, all that darkness. He was in the taxi going, darkness, he was in the damn taxi. The taxi. That's how brilliant he was.
I'm frantically writing in the back. And when I got to the studio, I saw this limousine pull up out the front, and out steps Benson Price. And I said to the cab driver, go around the back, go around the back. You know, so we raced around the back. And I jumped out, went through the back door, grabbed a hold of the secretary and said, photocopy this, quick. and raced in and put it on the music stand. And Benson walked in and sat down and, just hit it.
So I promise you tonight that you will always be the lady in my life.
The story then backtracks to Temperton's early beginnings at a Grimsby fish market before joining Heatwave and writing their first hits, including Always and Forever and Boogie Nights. Using the vibrant colours and soul songs of the era as a backdrop, the film combines the story of Temperton's rise to musical greatness alongside a secondary story of couples who fell in love and raised families to the invisible composer's many anthems over the years without ever knowing who he was following his death in 2016. The second storyline of couples growing up to Temperton's songs is an entertaining way of illustrating his untold story and the importance of his music to an audience largely unfamiliar with who he was. This is what separates the script for The Invisible Composer from other biopics that simply look to recreate known events, and gives this film a unique feel with the classic soul soundtrack, the look of the late 70s to early 80s, and the real-life superstar characters such as the brilliant young Michael Jackson and legendary producer Quincy Jones. This film is a surefire hit. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe and contact me for more information.
I used to call him Rod the God. Why? Rod, he would compose day and night. Day and night.